Sure, he peaks in May at the New York Pro Show, and then it's a long run here. Looks very good.
He looks very good. Some great fibers and striations in that side quad.
Remember, I kept talking about the back, and that's where it's won and lost at. This is an area that Juan struggles in terms of overall completeness, and then also the width, and especially the lower back area. He's a trainer out of New York. He's dry in the lower back. You just don't see the fibers, right? You want to see that separation. Hamstrings are a little bit slight, but again, he might stand up next to them. What the judges are doing is looking individually at all these guys. Then when they start making the comparisons, these weaknesses, these flaws, they almost all get canceled out because everybody's bringing something different to the table.
Now that low back development, showing it with the leanness is one thing, but that low back musculature development comes down to a couple prime moves that some guys just don't do.
Yeah, and some of these guys don't do the deadlifts. They don't do the hyperextensions. Not everybody can get the lower back, but if you work at it. I could never do a vacuum for many years, but I was able to after practicing. I didn't have a lower back when I first started, but I got the Christmas tree 5 or 6 years into my pro career. It's possible. And speaking of progress, Brandon Curry is the guy that everybody was waiting for to arrive tonight. He won the Arnold Classic Championships in Ohio, Arnold Classic Championships in Brazil, New Zealand Championships, and he's also won the Arnold Classic Championships in Australia. Look at those arms.
3rd or 4th last year, where was he?
Brandon was 5th place for the first time. That's when he made his move. And people have started to sit up and take notice because he slowly has been making the right kinds of gains in all of the right places. The shoulders, the arms, the traps. You can see his waist is tiny and the back is wide. Another guy with the darker skin, a little bit thicker. He's never been known to have huge bellowing hamstrings, and the calves are a little bit slight. But the playing field's level when you start talking about Dexter and Juan Morel. So those weaknesses are almost canceled out because the other guys it's not their strength.
There's some great width right there.
Yeah, the wideness of his back makes his waist disappear. It's the stomach that we got to watch, Brandon. And a lot of the bodybuilders have to watch the stomach in transition. Breathe in the chest, not in the lower abs. Nice pose. That's one of his
signature shots. That's a really great pose. So, yeah, last year we had Brandon, William, Bonac, Rowley, Phil, and Sean.
Yes, we did. And, of course, on the outside. Another guy with the darker skin, a little bit thicker. He's never been known to have huge, bellowing hamstrings and calves are a little bit slight. But the playing field's level. You start talking about Dexter and Juan Morel. So those weaknesses are almost canceled out because the other guys it's not their strength. Blown away by is the midsection, okay?
Yeah.
That's never been one of his strengths. He's got some of the biggest legs, biggest arms, biggest shoulders. He's one of the bigger guys on the stage. But that skin is really, really thick, and that midsection needs a lot of work in terms of detail.
Obscure reference, Vic Richards.
Yeah, he's got a very Victor Richards-like look. And in the gym, he's Mr. Olympia, this guy. You put all the guys in their gym clothes, you got to go with Akam.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a silverback gorilla, one of the biggest guys in the gym, and he's strong. Look at those legs.
Just beautiful.
I mean, he can throw around some weight, but he's got to find a way to rip that skin up, and I just don't have an answer for him. He's been doing it long enough. He's a veteran, but that thick type of skin is very hard to really rip. That's a great shot for him.
Yeah.
That is a Victor Richards-like double bicep from the back.
There's a lot of mass. What do you figure, about 260, 270 at that frame?
Yeah, I mean, it's illusion again. We're sitting here looking at him, but he's 180, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a big boy, and I know he walks around over 300 pounds, trains out of New York. One of the more likable guys. Don't let the muscle size fool you. He is a teddy bear. He's definitely worked on the legs. There's the cross striations.
Yeah.
They're there. You see the pecs separate. It's the midsection that we come back to, and that's where he struggles.
Symmetrically, though, with that much mass, that was nice. That was a pretty package.
Very few guys walking around looking like a King Williams.
Your final competitor from Curacao.
Oh. Let's see what this jumps out.
People's champ, Ruli Winkler.
Yeah, Ruli by way of the Netherlands and the Carousel and in Kuwait. This guy's living all over the place, man. He's putting in work. Came off of a knee injury at the Arnold Classic, third last year. People's champion. He's holding the stomach in very well, as you can see. Came off a knee injury and tumbled down a few placements at the Arnold Classic in Ohio.
His silhouette last year, coming out of the hole that was the big O, was just iconic.
Was sick. Yeah, big guns. Nobody's got bigger arms than Ruli Winkler. I'm not blown away by the detail, Tim. Maybe I'm hypercritical.
No?
I'm using that word a lot, but nobody's blown me away in condition, and I've seen Ruli harder than this. The good thing is that nobody's really ripped, so the playing field is kind of more level.
You know, as much as he wants that Sandow Trophy and that check and the title, he's just happy to be here. He's just a genuinely happy guy.
I got to tell you, he's probably one of the guys that could care less if he got... I can't say that he doesn't care. He wants to win the show like all of us, but you couldn't tell the difference if he got dead last.
Yeah.
You know, coming to the Olympia for this guy is the dream come true. And he looks very good in his signature poses. That's a very nice back double bicep, but you can see the lower back is very shallow and very weak. He knows that. I'm not sure how to remedy that because, look, he makes up for it with the size of his arms.
The rear delts, the traps, everything is just beautifully detailed.
He's got body parts that overcompensate the lower back, but it's still a glaring weakness for a guy that big. And I say that by comparison to a guy like Dorian Yates, right? He's doing a very